I want to know all of it. Everything you saw 18 years ago, everything you did, every detail, big or small.
Won't like me much when we're done.
I'll survive.
What is up, NerdTectives? Welcome to another episode, Nerds at Night. I am your host, Blake Weather, the world's most okayest detective. Your words, not mine. And we are all back breaking down.
Details matter.
We are on episode 6. Tragic. And we got a lot to cover. We're going to do our recap, then get into what we've gotten right so far, get into some fan comments, rules to solve a murder mystery, and finally on to our suspect and theory board. It sounds like a lot, but I promise it'll go by quick or your money back. So let's hop right into the recap. As a millennial, I loved how this started up with the dial-up sounds and then the old school YouTube. And we see Coach We're telling the story that we've all heard about the jade necklace. We also see that the interview's in 1992, and that's when he gets the title of the world's greatest detective. Their words, not his. And all this is being rewatched by a young Imogene on YouTube. Meanwhile, an older Imogene and Sanel getting down like an R&B song. And things take a turn when we find out Sanel is on Victor Sam's team. Good news for him, though, because we do find out his paper checking lady is legit. And she verifies the bill of lading is from 1995, which puts the Colliers in some deep water. Teddy, Layla, and Coatsworth dig in further on what they found last week, which is exactly what we suspected. It's a server room. And Layla hacks the Matrix and finds files on everyone. I mean, literally every character in here. We see Sanel, we see that Derek, we see Father Toby, Grandma Chun, Eleanor Chun, all the Colliers, Anna, Catherine, Lawrence, Tripp, Layla. We see Rufus, we see Agent Hildy, Teddy, Weenie Go, Llewellyn, and the governor. Also, Layla finds a tape of Anna and Eleanor doing the naked tango. We also find out Anna and Tripp are on a coke bender singing some Queen. And that's kind of cool because Anna, who's played by Lauren Patton, has done a number of theater plays where she actually sings on stage. So it's cool to see them work that in there. Anna also gets approached by Imogene about the factory in Jiangsu and how it was using Caption Blue. And we find out Anna knew the whole time. We also find out Agent Hildy and Llewellyn got a lot of heat between them two, if you know what I mean. And the governor's ready to risk it all and get to snitching to Agent Hildy, but not before succumbing to poison from her IV drips over the last few days. And her papers are blank, which means somebody stole the originals. We find out Winnie for sure did kill Keith, not knowing it was Danny, who's just an average dude and not some rich person. Whoops. And then we verify that she also killed the governor. And this was all on orders from Victor Sam, so it settles it. Winnie, you're guilty. Also, Llewellyn goes off the deep end. Literally, RIP to the homie. But before he dips out, he calls Coatsworth a phony. We also follow that thread and find out Coatsworth is a fraud who faked his first big case that was mentioned in the beginning of the episode. Thus, he is not really the world's greatest detective. And he's about to spill all of the tea to Imogene in the next episode. Oh boy, that was a lot in comparison to last week, which was not a lot. So, it's a give and take. But this week's episode, fantastic, full of everything that I think we were waiting for and hoping for going into the last 4 episodes of the season. Now, I want to give ourselves credit because we got a lot of stuff right based on just our fan comments and then the theories that we had last week. So let's talk about this real quick. One of the fan comments that we got last week was literally talking about how Coatsworth was a fraud. Let me play it right here. The show is referred to Rufus as a washed-up detective, but what if he was never great to begin with? May explain why he couldn't solve the murder of Imogene's mom. Still not sure how the murder of Imogene's mother fits in with all this or who that killer was. Perhaps Rufus will eventually solve this and get some redemption. And then we also got right that Sanel was working with Victor Sams, took money from him to get his ship business in order, and then looked the other way about any modifications to his boat. Let me play that clip right here, because Sanel didn't have the money to build this whole ship by himself. But the cost for Sanel was to let the priest make modifications by adding in cameras, by adding in the server. So maybe Sanel didn't know about this or gave it the okay or looked the other way, but somehow he's now indirectly responsible for allowing these things to happen. Now, that was with an assumption that the priest was Victor Sams, but still, we had the right idea about it, right? We got that part right. We also got the part right where the guy that was following Sanel and Imogene was really following Sanel more so than Imogene. Let me play that clip again. Also, who's the stalker that's following them? Is he following Imogene or is he following Sanel? So I think we're doing really good about being right about some solid stuff. And I'm hoping just the more that these episodes go on, our theories build up more, and by the next episode, I think we might have enough information to crack this case. But I can't do it alone. Every good detective needs a partner. That's where your fan comments come in. So let's read a few of the ones that came in throughout this week. Our first comment comes in from Basquiat76. Shout out to Basquiat. He just keeps writing in comments. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate you for tuning in for all the episodes. He says, pretty boring episode. I'll be honest. This show is losing my interest. Imogene and the captain hanging around the city. Who's hooking up with who? $1 billion deal. I don't find any of it interesting. And Victor Sams being this Red John figure with disciples doing his dirty work. I just wanted a fun murder mystery. This is something else. I do like your theory about the priest, though. Mine was a captain, but that seems too obvious now. Yeah, honestly, last week's episode was super slow in comparison with how the rest of the season's been going. And just sort of on the whole, like, did we get a lot? Not until the last, 10 minutes. We really didn't get a whole bunch. Like Imogene and Sunel being followed. But, did we really get anything? There was not a whole bunch of meat on the bone. So that makes me really appreciate this week's episode so much more. Basquiat, appreciate you. Keep commenting. And yeah, shout outs to the theory about the priest. I don't know. It's just been something that I'm thinking about, something that I thought about, and it's something that I'm leaning in more and more as this season goes on. Our next comment comes in from Sean Jan 280. This is the worst episode so far. Hopefully the next few ones are more exciting. Again, yeah. Not a whole lot with last week's episode. It was in reference to last week's episode. Not a whole lot going on. Again, up until the last few minutes where we find out that it's essentially the cruise ship is essentially a server farm. And that's about it. Wasn't a whole lot going on. So, but I appreciate the comment, man. Our last comment comes in from 117 Derek. Really good vid, recap, and theories. You are appreciated. I have a twist on the Rufus did it theory. Rufus is the next victim. I think in the second half of the season, more people will die, possibly connected to the original murder of Imogene's mom, or simply to protect Victor Sams and what they are doing, which I believe is blackmailing corrupt rich people and corporations and using the money for good. Funding activities like what Jules did with the Ukrainians. Yes, Victor Sams is Robin Hood. Continuing with my theory, everyone who gets close to exposing Victor Sams is murdered or intimidated by the murder of a loved one. That explains Danny's murder and the attempt on Layla. At the end of episode 5, Rufus has discovered the computers in the ship and now is a real threat. So he is murdered in episode 6 to prevent him from learning more / exposing Victor Sam's operation. The remaining episodes will have Imogene looking for the murder of both her mother and Rufus. Yes, Rufus is the narrator from the grave, similar to the film Sunset Boulevard. As to prime suspects, I kind of like Father Toby for all the reasons you say. But if there's an upstairs, downstairs theme, then I suspect that Imogene's mother is alive, survived, or faked her own death, and has been seeking revenge against the rich and powerful. She is Victor Sams. She's turning the rich against each other, the Colliers versus the Chuns, and using the disenfranchised like Winnie, Sunel, Jules as her henchmen. Wow. There's a whole bunch in there. There were some things that are good. There's some things that were not quite true. Rufus is not the next victim. He obviously didn't die in this episode, but the whole Victor Sams, he's actually doing stuff for good, even though we don't see the full picture and we see it as good. That's some Murder on the Orient Express, right? I'm not going to give anything away from that, but just sort of by the end, you're like, man, I mean, I guess that was kind of good, but also the way you went about it, oh no, baby, so I kind of like that. That Victor Sams is it's sort of a good thing. I don't know if I'm 100% in it, but I kind of like that. And then also too, yeah, Imogene's mother is alive, survived, or faked her own death. I mean, there's that theory online, right, that Imogene's mother is Agent Hildy. I have a theory about that as we sort of get into our suspect theory list, but yeah, I like that. Good comment, 117 Derek. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the shout out. I appreciate you appreciating me. Without y'all, there is no me. So appreciate y'all so much. Now, with that in mind, let's get to our suspect and theory list. But before we can do that, let's get into our rules for solving a murder mystery so we know how to compartmentalize all of our suspects, what's going on, all of our theories. Let's just get right into it. What are our rules for solving a murder mystery? Rule number 1, we have to have suspects. Rule number 2, we've got to have clues. Rule number 3, we've got to have motive. Rule number 4, we have to have opportunity. And always bonus, rule number 5, red herrings. Let's see where we can compartmentalize people on our suspect and theory board. And let's get right to it right now. Here is our board from last week. Let's start from the bottom, work our way to the top. We have in no way, we have Teddy, Llewellyn, Jules, Imogene, Tripp, Layla, and Anna. They're still on my no way for sure. Llewellyn, he's out of the picture. Rest in peace to the homie. We have probably not. We have Coatsworth and we have that Derek. I'm still leaving him there, even though we're about to get some secrets from Coatsworth that I think will help crack the case wide open. And we're still waiting for whatever that Derek has filmed on his TikTok or whatever footage he has, because guaranteed he has something. He's looked at something. He has a photo or a video of something. Even if he took it by accident, he for sure has something. Probably not, but they got something to do with what happens at the end. On our maybe, we have the governor, Agent Hildy, Grandma Chun. We need to move the governor, I think, to no way, because rest in peace to the governor. Getting offed by her IV. It's funny because I mentioned it in a recording that I did where the mic was off. So I had to end up doing the whole thing again last week. And I didn't bring it up in the one that I recorded, but I did talk about, I'm like, is she getting sick from the IV? She just be coughing all the time. So come to find out, that was the reason. So she's definitely in no way. We still got Agent Hildy. There's something going on. I want to bring up this theory because this is theory and suspect board time. I think Agent Hildy, to go back to the theme of twins, if we're looking back at episode 3, there was a lot of theme of twins. And instead of Agent Hildy being Imogene's mom, which I think she'd recognize her mom, right? I think Agent Hildy is Imogene's mom. I think Kira, right? Kira, that's her name. I think this is her twin sister. And again, this could be crazy. I'm just throwing it out there, but this could be the twin sister, and she could be looking to solve the case all along of who is Victor Sams. Perhaps that's why she got into, policing around the world, because Victor Sams is around the world. Perhaps that's why she has some attributes, right? Like Imogene's mom didn't like ships, right? Got seasick, and Agent Hildy has a little bracelet that's supposed to help you with seasickness. She likes mysteries. Imogene's mom like mysteries. They like solving them. There's a few you can connect the dots on a few things. I still think there's some looseness to it, but you could do 1 and 2. But I think it would make sense that Agent Hildy is the twin sister of Imogene's mom. Like, Imogene's mom dead. Like, you dead, girl. Like, I maybe not, right? Like, I could be completely. We come back in 4 weeks. I could be completely wrong, but I do enjoy this theory of her being the twin sister. I think it would fit in narratively with closing the loop on a few things that we've seen that are open. And how funny is it, the episode where Agent Hildy is most prominent, right? When she really comes onto the show, right? She comes on at the end of 2, but she's really a lot in 3. There's a whole bunch of twin stuff going on. So if you look at it like that, who all could have twins? Could the Colliers have twins? No, Anna probably don't have no twin. Tripp don't have no twin. Catherine doesn't have a twin. Lawrence doesn't probably have a twin. Who else could have a twin? The priest probably doesn't have no twin. The governor doesn't probably have a twin. That Derek is probably not a twin. That would be crazy. But Winnie probably doesn't have a twin. Teddy doesn't have a twin. They're sisters. They'd know if they're twins. So it really it narrows down who could be a twin, who could have a twin. And this is the only thing for me that makes sense at this point. Again, things could change. Could Coatsworth have a twin? I don't really know. That'd be crazy too. There's an evil Coatsworth. There's a good Coatsworth, evil Coatsworth. I don't know. But this, for me, it makes the most sense. So she's still going to be on my maybe. There's still some stuff I want to find out about her. Also, Grandma Chun, man, she's like, business isn't over. There's still stuff to do. What is there to do? The business deal is done. What more do you want? I think that there's something more going on. Let's hop on the theory train real quick and think about this. Winnie brought up a story about having a friend working in a factory. The friend lost a baby, committed suicide, and this was all in China, right? What if that friend was related to Grandma Chun? What if it was her granddaughter or something, right? Or her daughter, or, I don't know, something. What if she was related to Grandma Chun, working in the Collier factory, and Grandma Chun found out about this, and that is the reason for wanting to completely nickel and dime and decimate the Collier's empire. It's like a revenge story. That would be cool. That would make sense. I don't think she's Victor Sams, but like that doesn't mean she's innocent, and that doesn't mean that she doesn't have other motivations. I thought about that. So I really like that. I'm still going to leave her here. She's still in my maybe, but she may go down into probably not come next week. But I think I think that's the angle she's playing. She still wants to really stick it to the Colliers because like perhaps her granddaughter, some sort of relative, a niece or something, somebody died in the Colliers factory that was related to her, and that's why she's coming for him. And highly suspicious, we have Lawrence and Catherine Collier. They stay in there. I don't know. They can't be completely out. We definitely know they in some shady shit with the Caption Blue. They had some factories going on, killing people. That's like crimes against humanity, bro. Like you're gonna be tried. Like if that goes, if people find out, you're going away forever, right? Country's coming after you. Ain't nobody protecting you. So who is protecting them? That's interesting, right? With Catherine signing the bankruptcy notice a few episodes back, I think it was episode 2 or 3. Is she really trying to pull some strings? Again, is she trying to end up with the priest who he's still on my strong suspicion list? But what does Lawrence know? What does he knows something, and until we get that secret out of him, yeah, man, he's gonna be here. I want to move him down just because like there's not a whole bunch of action coming from him. And typically too, think about this in murder mysteries, typically the people that are guilty are interviewed in the lineup, right? If you're interviewed in the lineup, it's usually one of those people. He wasn't interviewed, that Derek wasn't interviewed. I probably should move Lawrence down based off of that, but there's still some sort of something. There's something suspicious going on. And now it also makes more sense if he knew that the company was using Caption Blue when they shouldn't have been. People were dying. Instead of having to go through the legal system and them coming at them. If you don't own the company no more, they can't come at you. You don't own the company anymore. You're done. You've cashed out. Then they can only go after the company. I don't know how all the legal system goes with companies, but like you can only go after the company. If you don't own the company, they can't come after him. He's probably looking to wash his hands and rid his hands. That actually makes a lot of sense given what we found out this week. But Catherine Collier, there's still something going on with her that's shady. So she's staying there. And that leads us to our top suspect list. There's Winnie, there's Eleanor, there's the priest, and there's Sanel. Let's move Sanel down to probably not, because he seems like he's just a pawn. We knew that there was something shady going on with him, but he seems like just an errand boy at this point. Now, they could pull a Kaiser Soze on us, and he could be the one. He could have systems calling him, but he is really the guy. I don't know, but I'm going to move him down. He just looks to me so far to be like he's getting pulled in different directions. He's not the one pulling the strings. That leaves Winnie, Eleanor, and the priest. We know Winnie did it. She's staying there. She ain't never going nowhere. She's guilty, right? She's guilty of at least 2 murders. She's not Victor Sams, though. That leaves Eleanor, and that leaves the priest, which is interesting because both of their names are in the system when Layla hacks the matrix, so to speak, hacks Victor Sam's computers, but their names are in there. But that would make sense. You'd want to throw somebody off your scent because if your name's not in there, that automatically makes you the villain, right? So you need to have some evidence against you to make it look like, oh, like they got evidence on me, or they got videos on me, or they tracking me, like, oh, how crazy, what? But one of them two is definitely it. I think Eleanor a little bit less. I want to move her to highly suspicious. I just want a little bit more information from her. I still strongly suspect it's the priest. He's pulling the strings, or at least is in cahoots at a high level with Victor Sams. Who else could Victor Sams be? It's nobody else, right? That rounds out our suspect list. It has to be him. All signs point to him the further and further that we go into these episodes. But yeah, that is our list for this week. What did we miss? Write it down in the comments. Let me know what your list looks like and where you would rank people based on where all the pieces have moved this week. So what do y'all think about all that? Do y'all have any theories of your own based on everything that's going on? Did I miss any important plot threads in the recap? Go ahead and write it down in the comments. Let me know if you thought that Rufus was a fraud the whole time. I will say, even when episodes are a bit whack like last week, it makes it all the more fun and all the more exciting to come on here every week, read your comments, and we get to have fun and make fun of a bad episode. Like, that's what we get to do, and that's so great. So I really appreciate all of y'all. Like I said, without y'all, there is no me, there is no us, there is no channel. So I really appreciate y'all for sleuthing with me. Let me know if y'all have gone back to rewatch some episodes and caught some things that I haven't caught yet. I'm constantly trying to go back and rewatch the episodes at least once a week now and try to see like, oh, they might connect this dot or they might connect that dot. What are we going to find out from Rufus next week that we don't already know? What evidences are going to be? And is this really pointing to like the whole detective this time, the whole time, has been Imogene? That seems really cool. She seems like a really great character. Let me know what you think will happen next week. Again, episodes drop every Wednesday morning, so look out for those in the coming weeks. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, showing love, writing comments, watching, telling your friends. I appreciate it all. And if you can't get enough murder mysteries, go ahead and check out any of the murder mystery breakdowns that I have. I just recently added Evil Under the Sun, which has been a back and forth thing over the last 2 months with YouTube taking it down, leaving it up. It's been a whole thing, but we have it up. So go ahead and check that out if you're an Agatha Christie et Poirot fan, or go check out any of the other murder mysteries that I've broken down. Gosford Park, Witness for the Prosecution, 13 for Dinner. Hopefully that sort of satisfies your need for a murder mystery in the meantime. Like always, if y'all want to follow me, you can follow me on all social medias at Money Blakeweather, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. Like, comment, share, tell a friend. I really appreciate y'all. And whether it's morning, evening, afternoon, I look forward to seeing y'all next week. And until the next episode, I will see ya. Peace.